you've seen it. We're officially snowed in. There's so much snow, we couldn't possibly leave our house. Mostly because I'm too lazy to go out there and shovel the driveway. But that's not here nor there. The important thing is that we are snowed in right now. So what are we going to do? Well, I have 3 Hungry Man dinners. But here's the deal. I'm no man. I'm just a tiny little lady with tiny little lady appetites. Will I survive on these Hungry Man dinners? It's not looking likely, but you know what? Hang out. We're going to eat these anyway because what the f*** else is there to do in the middle of the snow? You've officially gone stir crazy and you've been snowed in for 5 minutes. I don't need lip from you today, okay? I'm very stressed. I'm very stressed out. I'm stuck. I have to eat these Hungry Man meals. We won't starve. We've got frozen meals. Yes, delicious frozen meals. Oh boy, I cannot wait to eat these delicious Hungry Man meals. It's time to take the gloves off and try 3 Hungry Man dinners. For today, we've got the Mexican style fiesta. This is one of the Hungry Man selects. I don't know what makes this different than these 2 Hungry Mans that do not say selects on the box. But, you know, I don't know. Something about it makes it different. We'll probably start with this one because this is the first one I picked up. That's my logic right now. We're just rolling with that. For the Hungry Man Select Mexican style fiesta, this is 17 grams of protein. It's a beef enchilada smothered with cheese and chili sauce made with corn tortillas, Mexican style rice, and refried beans, plus cocada, coconut flavored pudding. Oh, okay, well, I like pudding, so that's good. I'm actually surprised there's not more branding on the box about what makes Hungry Man so special. You know, why does Hungry Man market their frozen dinners for men? Like, clearly, you had a marketing scheme in mind here when you decided to name your frozen dinner brands Hungry Man. You are after the men who are hungry. This doesn't say hungry person, it says Hungry Man. Why? I don't know. Maybe we could cut to an old commercial to find out why.
So what'd you have for dinner? A pound of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, corn and pudding. You? A sliver of trout, spritzed with lemon. And baby carrots!
Should have had Hungry Man from Swanson. A whole pound of the good hearty food that men love. Hungry Man, it's good to be full.
Right?
Anyway, so let's see what the instructions are. We've got microwave oven instructions, and then we've got conventional oven instructions. And you know what? We're going to cook this in the microwave. All right, we're going to open this up. Yeah! I've eaten a lot of TV dinners before in my life. I've never had a Mexican style fiesta one. So already, it certainly does not look like the picture on the box, but that's okay. They never do. They never do look like the box. And you'd think there's like some truth in advertising thing where like they're supposed to make it look like the real product, but they never do. So we're going to cook this like a real man would cook this in the microwave. So for this one, it says remove film from pudding, slit film over enchiladas, and cook high on 4 minutes. So let's start there. Remove film from the pudding only. This is where nifty skizzers come into play. I am a little hungry, but I've been filling myself up with beer. Surprisingly, beer is quite filling, especially in a snowstorm. Works out quite nicely. Here's how you slit films. There we go. So then this needs to go into the microwave for 4 minutes. Microwave 4 minutes. Ta-da. So I'll tell you right now, this is not going to come out of the microwave looking like that. But I appreciate that, they're trying to hype you up for something that is going to really disappoint you. I really just don't understand the marketing, here, honestly. Also, where's all this rice? Like, where was the rice in that? There was the enchiladas, there was the beans, there was the pudding. Where was all the damn rice? Beef enchilada smothered in chili sauce and cheese with Mexican rice. It says it has the rice. I don't know, maybe it was under all the sauce. Anyway, while we're waiting on this, Our public domain movie today is High Voltage from 1929. This is a fun one about kind of set in a snowy tundra situation. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. I'm hoping these are good because, I started this out and I said I wasn't hungry. Well, I've since become hungry. Maybe because I've been looking at the food. I've been looking at these really delicious looking pictures on the boxes, and that makes me hungry. But we all know that's not going to come out of the microwave looking like that. I actually am so excited to do a side-by-side for you all, where we got that, and then we got some garbage next to it. Can't wait. Excuse me. For real, though, I'm getting hungry. All right, that initial first 4 minutes is done. Now we need to stir the beans and spoon the sauce over the enchiladas, and then recover the film. And then cook an additional 2.5 to 4.5 minutes. That's a big stretch. 2.5 to 4.5. That's nearly double the time. Like, okay, let's take it out and see what it looks like so far. Yeah, it looks not like the picture as expected. Pull the film off. It said to stir the beans. These are definitely still frozen in the middle. Yum. I love refried beans though. We'll see. We'll see if it actually tastes any good. And then it said to spoon oh, there's the rice. There's the rice. It said to spoon the enchilada sauce over the enchiladas. I don't have a spoon, so we're doing this with a fork. I may be a man tonight, but I'm not going to make a damn mess. I feel like I'm going to piss off every dude who watches this video. Ow. It's already hot. Damn it. 2.5 to 4.5. I think 2.5 is probably going to cut it. So let's throw it back in. 2.5 more minutes. As a role-playing man tonight, I'm hungry and I'm hungry now, and this thing's taking too damn long. You had to cook for 4 minutes, then you had to cook for an additional 3-ish minutes, then you got to let it stand for another minute. That's a lot of waiting, and I'm hungry now. Who's going to come up with that brand? Who's going to come up with the TV dinner brand where it makes it instantly? Where's that technology, huh? That's our TV dinner. It said to let this sit for another minute. Screw it. Take the cover off. All right, while we're letting this sit, let's take a look at everything. We've got pudding. That smells very coconutty, actually. We've got beans that have a lake in the middle of them, probably because the frozen part of the beans melted and they were still maybe a little cold in the middle there. And then we've got our enchiladas and rice. So, that's what it looks like out of the microwave. As a reminder, that's what they look like on the box. Who's surprised? We all know that these things don't actually look like they do on the box. It doesn't smell bad, so that's nice. All right, I'm tired of waiting. We're going to start with the beans. I like refried beans. I think beans are good. So when I first put that in my mouth, and I don't know how to say that less weirdly. Anyway, when I first took a bite of that, I was like, oh, okay, that doesn't taste bad at all. And then as I chewed it, I was like, actually, that doesn't really taste like anything. And then as I swallowed it, I was like, actually, that's not good. So let's take a bite of our enchiladas. Really, the main problem with the beans is that they're like gritty. They're like grainy. I don't know. How do you screw up refried beans? Honest to God. Now, looking at our enchiladas, these turned to straight mush. The tortillas did not hold up at all. The idea that the rice was separate from all of this is laughable. It's not. It's all just kind of turned into one slop pile, which whatever, it's a TV dinner. You're not expecting the world. I just don't understand how they can get away with advertising like this. How can they get away with it being like this when it's actually like this? Like, that's ridiculous to me. Let's take a bite. You know what the saddest thing is about Mexican food sometimes? It's when white people do Mexican food and they take all the effing flavor out of it. Somehow, this is an enchilada, right? It's got peppers, it's got red sauce, it's got cheese, it's got supposedly beef that has spices and flavoring in it. And somehow this is the most bland thing I've eaten today. And that's saying a lot because for lunch I had a peanut butter and jelly. And this is more bland than that. This has less flavor than my peanut butter and jelly did earlier today. All right, that bite had more of the beef in it. which was a little bit more flavorful, but still overall disappointing. And I'm like, I am staring at this box, right? I am trying to channel the vision of this good looking food in my mind when I eat this slop, and it's just not really doing it for me. All right, let's try a bite of just the rice. Yeah, it's bland. It's bland. And that's so sad because like good Mexican rice is, well, good, flavorful, delicious. I love Mexican rice. I love enchiladas. I love Mexican food, but this ain't it. This ain't it in either direction. So, all right, let's eat our pudding here. This doesn't look bad. Interesting side dish for this though, I guess. It tastes like coconut. It tastes like if you took a coconut and you mashed it into a goo, and then you inexplicably put that goo into like some hot water to just get it like tepidly warm, and then you ate it. The flavor's not bad. I want to like this more than I like it. And it's mostly like a texture thing. It's just goo. It's just goo. I get that pudding is goo. I get that. This is just a weird, like this whole meal is just goo. You got goo coconut with goo beans and goo enchiladas. And I get it. Like you're never going to have good texture with a TV dinner. But like, I don't know. From the perspective of being snowed in, this isn't that bad. I could be eating a lot worse. We'll put it that way. I could be eating a lot worse. But I could also be eating a lot better. And what's really frustrating is that is my lot better and that is my lot worse. So again, my biggest complaint with these TV dinners is just how far from the advertising the actual plates end up being, and it's unfortunate, but maybe the other ones will be better. Next up on the list, because it was the next one that I grabbed out of the freezer, is the Hungry Man boneless pork rib shaped patties. These are pork patties glazed with barbecue sauce, mashed potatoes, mixed vegetables, and a brownie. Unlike the last Hungry Man dinner, this one is not a select, whatever select meant. This one does not say that on the box. This is just a standard Hungry Man dinner. And we got, pork ribs that basically look like a McRib. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see what the back of the box says. It says nothing. It just it tells you about your meal in case you're curious. You've got a rich chocolate brownie, a tender pork with barbecue sauce, savory mashed potatoes, and crisp vegetables. All together, they are 23 grams of protein. This one also has microwave instructions and conventional oven instructions, but I'm very lazy and I'm very impatient. So we're going to do the microwave. So to start with this one, we need to remove film from the brownie and slit film over the pork and cook high 4.5 minutes. So let's go ahead and pull this out of the box and see what it looks like. Maybe we'll get lucky and this one will be... No, it's not. Oh no, what the F and F? That looks... You've got to be kidding me. This has to be a joke. Like, seriously? How are they allowed to get away with this? This is absolutely ridiculous. I thought there's such a thing as truth in advertising where you have to, be truthful. Is that just not a thing with food? That looks absolutely nothing. Nothing like it. Whatever. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, so we need to cut the film, slit the film. Yeah, all right. Cut the film, and then we got to slit. Slit enough. All right, and then this goes in for 4.5 minutes. Maybe the microwave will perform some sort of magic, and it'll come out of there looking more like looks like on the effing box. What a disappointment. How do the men survive, If this is the kind of food that these poor men are having to eat, how do they survive? How are they living their lives? While we're waiting, let's take a look at the nutrition facts. So this is 1 serving per container and only has 630 calories, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. I don't know why. I thought this would just have a whole lot more calories than that, especially when you look down at some of the things like 29 grams of fat, 65 milligrams of cholesterol, and sodium. Holy hell, 1,570 milligrams of sodium. Let me go get the other box. All right, our Mexican Fiesta, sodium 1,340 milligrams. How in the world can Can you have that much sodium in your product and it's still bland? And it's still bland. Like, that's insane to me. Oh, but look, it has, vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium. Whatever. What about this one? Vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium. Some small value of all of those things. So don't even get me started on the ingredients list on these. I like how they started out with mashed potatoes. Look, we have real things in our real thing box. But the mashed potatoes are actually rehydrated potato flakes in granules, which is water, potatoes, mono, and diglycerides, sodium acid phosphate, citric acid, sodium bisulfate, and BHT, whatever the FBHT is. All right, now that we're done with that first one, we need to remove the brownie. Okay, stir potatoes and then recover. This doesn't smell very good. All right, they want me to remove the brownie. Oh, it's like kind of falling apart. Are we sure about that? Whatever. All right, come on, get out of there. We'll just put you there. Now we need to stir the potatoes. Look at how sad. I know it's not done yet. Look at how sad. Let's move these out of the way. Also, like, you've put the mashed potatoes in with the barbecue sauce. So now I get to eat mashed potatoes with barbecue sauce. How lucky for me. It's definitely still very frozen. Yeah, I can't wait to eat my mashed potatoes with barbecue sauce. What the hell? Why do they do this? Like, how hard is it to make a tray that separates the potatoes from the barbecue sauce, right? You've already got a tray that separates your vegetables from your brownie, from all this jazz. How hard is it to make a tray that separates the rest of it? Oh, I just have so many problems with this product. All right, recover. Cook an additional 3.5 to 4 minutes. Definitely at least the 3.5 because the potatoes are still super frozen. Throw them back in. So are you still hungry after that first meal? I'll tell you, I've rode a real roller coaster of hunger since this thing started. I started out not very hungry because I was full of beer, and you have to have beer in a snowstorm. That's a requirement. And then I got kind of hungry when I pulled these boxes out and I started looking at this food on the box that actually, looks edible, at least, doesn't look bad. That made me hungry. And then I ate the first one, and that was horrible. And now I'm smelling this one, and that's not very good either. So I've gone from not hungry to not hungry again, which is unfortunate because this is ready to pull out of the microwave. So let's take a look. Oh, gosh. All right, let's uncover it. Oh, yay for us. Well, here we are. Here is our next Hungry Man dinner. Maybe the reason these aren't very good to me is because I'm not a man. Maybe you literally have to be a man to enjoy these. Maybe that's the real issue. Barbecue sauce doesn't smell too bad. That's good. Kind of flipping the pork things around in the barbecue sauce to get them kind of covered, but that doesn't seem to be working super well. They're just getting covered in potato goo. Did our potatoes cook all the way through? Yeah, they seem to be cooked. They are now fully integrated with the barbecue sauce, which, I mean, who doesn't love potatoes with barbecue sauce, right? I guess let's start with our potatoes and barbecue sauce. Even with the barbecue sauce blended in, this is bland. This tastes like nothing. It tastes like mushy nothing with a hint of barbecue sauce. My God. For real though, how is this company still in business? I'm not shitting on the idea of frozen dinners. Let me take a step back here. I'm not shitting on the idea of frozen dinners. I think frozen dinners are worthwhile because sometimes you're lazy and you don't feel like cooking something and you just want a quick meal. And I've had good frozen dinners. Actually, one of my favorite, Marie Callender, makes some really good frozen dinners, especially like her pot pies and stuff. Those are actually genuinely, I eat those unironically. I enjoy them. I find them good. And I guess you could argue in the comments that this would be better had I put it in the oven. But would it really have come out of the oven looking any better than this? Would it really have come out of the oven tasting any different? It's not like the oven is some magical device that you put this in and it magically comes out and looks like the box. And the microwave is just not that magical contraption. The microwave just can't do that. The microwave doesn't have that kind of magic, but the oven does. No. It wouldn't have mattered. Let's try our pork here. Like I said, the barbecue sauce smells okay. So let's give it a shot. You know, put that on a bun with some pickles, and it's basically a McRib. I think the McRib itself is better. I think their barbecue sauce is more flavorful, but this is a very similar experience to that experience. Very, very similar. The only difference is, like I said, it's a little less flavorful. The only thing giving this any flavor is the barbecue sauce right now, and the barbecue sauce isn't even that flavorful. It's still very bland, and I do not understand how you can have so much sodium in this, and it's so bland. I don't know. I don't get it. Let's try our vegetables. I'm really not a big fan of like plain vegetables. I either prefer my vegetables to be like really, really super sauteed, or I don't know. I just don't like plain vegetables. I don't find them very enjoyable to eat. But nonetheless, let's take a bite. Even though this is multiple different types of vegetables, when I eat it, it all just blends into corn. It all just weirdly becomes corn. And it's bland. Like it needs salt, it needs butter, it needs something. It's so bland. Last up, we need to eat a little bit of our brownie that we had to take out halfway through the cook for whatever reason. Let's give that a shot. The brownie's not bad. It does sort of have like a fake sweet, fake chocolate flavor to it. I'm not looking for gourmet meals here, you know? And maybe you could argue, hey, they make it kind of bland so that you can add your own salt and pepper to your preference. Maybe you could argue that. But if that's the case, why is there so much effing sodium in this then? That's crazy. If you're going to make your stuff purposefully bland, then you should at least be able to say, hey, guess what? Low sodium meat, you salt it yourself. All on you, friend. Figure it out. Do what you want. But instead, you have to add sodium to this to make it taste better, and it's already 68% of your daily intake. It's just disappointing. Just the whole thing's disappointing. And we still have one more to go. I've sort of accidentally saved what I hope is the best for last. This one is the boneless fried chicken, white meat chicken patties with mashed potatoes, sweet corn, and a brownie. I truly hope that this one's better than the other two. Let's look at the back of it. There's big, then there's hungry, man. 27 grams of protein made with 100% white chicken meat, hearty home-style mashed potatoes, heaping tender sweet corn, plus a rich fudge brownie. And again, you can cook it in the microwave or you can cook it in the oven. And neither of them are going to be magical enough to make it look like that. So let's see how different this is compared to what it looks like on the box. Oh my God. Besides the fact that the corn is literally everywhere, this is the first one that I would say even comes close to looking like the box. We've got two chicken patties that are breaded. Obviously, they're not quite as brown and golden as the ones on the box, but at least they're the right shape. They're the right, they sort of look like it. The potatoes aren't drowning in barbecue sauce. That's a plus. And your corn, how you screw up corn? Your corn looks like corn. So, I have high hopes because I am still hungry. I've eaten a little bit of the other two, but they're not good. They're not good. Like, I'm not trying to make myself sick eating junk. All right, let's see what the microwave instructions are. So, remove film from the brownie, slit over chicken. It's basically the same thing as the other ones. So, let's start by removing the brownie. Removing the brownie film, And then we got a slit. Yeah. Didn't really work. Yeah, that didn't really work either. It's because I screwed up. There we go. There we go. I am gonna pull. Look, I've had a rough night. Okay, none of these meals have been good. The only thing that's been halfway decent is the brownie. So let's try and make sure our brownie is, unadulterated with corn. Let's just pull the corn out of there. All right, so 4.5 minutes on high. Let's do it. All right, time to pull it out. I started out impatient for these, and now I could wait forever. But like I said, I'm hopeful. This one is a little less crappy. All right, so we've done the 4.5 minutes. We need to remove the brownie again. Okay. I don't really understand the whole remove the brownie thing, but there you go. Your brownie's been removed. Ow, it's hot. And then it says, stir potatoes and rearrange chicken. What the fuck do you mean rearrange it? Ah, crap. Okay. Well, let's I guess let's maybe lift the chicken away from the potatoes so we can kind of stir the potatoes separately here. Oh God. Okay. I don't really know what rearrange the chicken means, but we'll figure that out in a minute. There's this whole bunch of corn that made its way into the potatoes. So let's try and divorce these from themselves. Oh God. I'm doing my best, you know? I'm doing my best to save this from itself at this point. Ah, fuck's sakes. Okay, now we can kind of move all of the potatoes to one side and stir them up. I'm kind of surprised this doesn't come with a gravy. Like, don't these normally come with like a white gravy or something? Which then all just becomes like one big goopy mess. Was typically how that goes. Come on, I want to totally clean it up. Clean it up, boys. Spread them. Get them apart. We want potatoes on one side. We want the chicken on the other. I don't know what rearrange the chicken means. We'll assume it means like flipped them. So we have rearranged our chickens. We have flipped them. So there you go. And I guess we'll stir since we're in here. Didn't say to stir these, but whatever. Stir our corn a little bit. Okay. Now, cover that back up. I kind of effed up the film. Oops. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the whole dinner. Wouldn't it be horrible if me effing up the film ruined the whole dinner? Cook an additional 3 to 3.5 minutes. I think 3 will probably be plenty in this case. So let's throw them back in. Good luck, friend. It's time to decide our fate. Our hungry man fate. Is this going to save us? Is it going to be at least semi like the picture on the box? Or is it going to be disgusting? Well, it's officially done. Let's open her up. Well, here we are. I will give this one a tiny, itty bitty tiny bit of credit because it sort of looks like the box. Sort of. Does it look as good as the box? Like, look at that. Look at that. Wouldn't you be excited to eat that? You're snowed in. You can't go anywhere. But this. Look at how crispy it looks. Juicy meat. Yeah. Oh, fresh corn. Ooh, fluffy potatoes. Oh, I'm so excited. And then you get this instead. God damn it. Well, before we eat this, let's look at our sodium. 1,270 milligrams, which is 55% of your daily value. This one has 760 calories, which again, I'm kind of surprised these aren't higher calorie. They're very proud of the fact that they have a lot of protein. 27 grams of protein. Hey, if you're beefing up your protein, Hungry Man's got you covered. Look at all that protein. You know, protein doesn't have to be gross, bland nastiness. Protein can be good. You can go out and get a big juicy steak that's got a lot of protein in it, and it isn't bland and sad. So what is that? What is that? Is that a hair? It might be. Actually, I don't think it is a hair. What is that? I think it's, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It might have been a little part of the box. That's my guess. Anyway, I give this credit because it looks the most like the box out of the 3. That's where the credit ends, because before we've even tasted anything, this smells bland. How do you smell bland? How do you mess that part up? At least the other 2 smelled okay-ish. Like the pork patty one smelled like barbecue sauce. So that, you know, was a little flavorful. And the enchilada one smelled like peppers and enchilada sauce. So that's, you know, flavorful. This one smells like, I don't know, like just bland goop, I guess. I don't know. Let's start with the potatoes. Plain potatoes, no gravy. Yep, those are plain ass potatoes. You know what would help these a lot? Gravy or butter. Honestly, butter. You know how you fix these? You season them. And it's unfortunate that you have to do that. And there's already so much sodium and other crap in this. But honestly, put a tablespoon of butter in that. That'll fix that. Put a little salt and pepper on those. That'll fix that. Put a little butter and salt in that. That'll fix that. And then this can be edible at least. But as is, not very good. Let's try the corn next. The corn is swimming in its own juices. You know what? The corn tastes like corn. That's good. It tastes like plain, unbuttered, unsalted corn. If you like your corn that way, you will be delighted with this meal. Let's try our chicken up next. Now, I tried to separate this from its mashed potato partner, and I didn't do a very good job. So this is probably not going to be as beautiful and crispy as that, but hopefully it's not gross. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, a hot still. If there is salt, and there has to be because there's a ton of sodium in this. If there's salt in this, it's all in the chicken. All right, I can't stand it anymore. I have to fix this. This is literally my dinner. I wasn't kidding when I said I was snowed in and I had nothing else to eat. I'm going to eat this for dinner, damn it. So let's fix this. Good Lord. Let's put, a lot of butter. A lot of butter there. Some butter there. Let's do a little salt and pepper. We're going to do salt on that and salt on that. Light salt and pepper on the chicken. And then let's stick it back in the microwave for like 30 seconds so all that butter can melt. Now, you really should not have to add half a stick of butter to these damn things to make them edible. But, we don't live in a just world, so it is what it is. Pro chefs will tell you this too. That's what makes food taste good is butter and MSG and salt and sugar. That's what makes food taste good. You go to a restaurant, you're like, how did they make it taste so much better than I do at home? It's because they put a ridiculous amount of butter and salt on things. It just is what it is. All right, let's try this all again now that we've fixed it. Oh my God, our corn has flavor. So much better. Let's try our potatoes. Holy cow. That's actually good. That's very tasty. Let's try our chicken. Ow. Ooh. Peppery. Wow. This is literally 500 times better because I put salt, pepper, and butter on it. Oh, man. Maybe we should have just lit everything on fire and called it a day. Oh, yeah. And we forgot to try our brownie. The brownie was the only thing I liked in the last meal, so I assume the brownie will be good in this one. Yeah, solid. It's fine. It's a microwave brownie, That wraps up us trying 3 different Hungry Man dinners. What are my final thoughts? Well, in general, for all 3, it is disappointing that they are allowed to market these meals as looking like this, and then you get that. That's very frustrating and very sad. Out of the 3, this one was bland. It was disappointing. Not terrible though. This one was probably the worst one, frankly. I don't know. That pork patty was just ridiculous. The vegetables were horrible. And then the potatoes having barbecue sauce in them was like, what the actual hell? Like, you can't even really fix that, right? Like, your potatoes have barbecue sauce in them. What are you going to do about that? And then this one was probably my favorite, especially after we fixed it. After we added some salt, some pepper, some butter. I'll eat the rest of this one. So that wraps up all of this nonsense. I hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to see us try some other TV dinners, maybe some Marie Callender TV dinners, let me know down in the comments. Love us, hate us, whatever. Feel free to let us know. Well, at least you didn't starve. Yep, at least we didn't starve. There's my Fenzi looking on the bright side of things. Gotta love her. Gotta love her. Maybe starving was better. And yep, maybe it was better. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye, babies.